Hello and welcome. My name is Rachel Coletta. I am a psychic intuitive and energy healer. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering one of your questions. I received a question on another video from a viewer that I thought was an amazing question. It was about something that I have been intending to make a video on, but have not gotten to yet. So this was a clear prompt for me to go ahead and make that video. So I'm going to begin by reading the question that I received. The question was, are you ever wary of beings that want to be a guide to you? Or is there ever a part of yourself that you keep reserved? And this is such a brilliant question. I've talked a lot about some of the different types of beings that I've connected to. I've talked a lot about spirit guides on my channel, but this is not a topic that I have yet covered. And it's a really, really important one to understand and have a framework to sort of work with as you are connecting with non-physical beings, so that you can know and feel confident in who you're connecting to and the information that you're receiving, and you feel safe and protected, clear, held in love throughout the process. So really for me, this is a two-part question. The first part of this question is about discernment, about being able to discern whether or not the energies that one is connecting to, the beings that one is connecting to, are beings of light and love that are there to assist you. And then the second part of this question is around energetic boundaries, specifically boundaries around guide communication. So I'm going to be addressing both of those aspects in this video. But before I dive in here, I wanted to share with you all that I do have a completely free workshop that is all about spirit guides and connecting to spirit guides. It goes over some of these concepts in a little bit more detail, and it covers some things that I'm not going to get to in this video. And at the end of the workshop, I actually have a guided meditation that is specifically designed to get you in a nice high vibrational place before connecting to and learning to connect with your spirit guides, so that you're ensuring that you're creating that set point where you're connecting to a guide or your primary guide or other complementary guides that are a high vibrational match. I'll walk you through that exact process. It is repeatable and you can practice it on your own. So I'm going to link to that workshop below. I would definitely recommend snagging that free resource. Okay, so let's dive into this idea, this concept about discernment when it comes to our spirituality, our intuitive connections, connecting to energies, connecting to non-physical beings. So when it comes to discernment, there are three primary tools that I believe are going to give you the base, the foundation that you need to be able to feel confident and clear when you are connecting with other energies intuitively, when you're connecting with other beings intuitively, to be able to discern and evaluate whether or not this is a positive, a helpful, a nourishing and enriching and high vibrational connection. And the first thing that I'm going to talk about here, the first tool, is, in my view, the absolute most important. It is the foundation that is the foundational understanding that is key before really connecting with any other energies intuitively. You can think about this as sort of like practicing for the big game. You wouldn't expect to go to the big game, we're talking about some sort of athletic event here. You wouldn't expect to go to the big game and have the skills and the tools to perform well if you weren't practicing on a day-to-day basis on your own. This is the same concept with intuitive connection. So the first thing here is using the heart as a barometer, the heart energy and the heart chakra, literally the portal of the heart as a gauge. So how do you hone and become familiar with this barometer? Through this conscious, regular use through your own emotional experience. Your emotional experience is the training ground for the heart. So it's your emotional experience that presents you with the energy or sensations of things like fear, feeling safe versus unsafe, feeling freedom or feeling constriction, feeling victimized or feeling powerful. And it's our emotional experience that provides the feedback or the reflection of how we are aligning with and relating to our truth. So when we can bring this heart energy into our emotional experience and we can learn how we're aligning with our truth, and we can really run our own emotional experiences through the portal of the heart and use it as a barometer to tease out and sift through what is in alignment with our higher self, with our light and the truth of our being, and what feels out of alignment, we can hone and become intimately familiar with how it feels in our heart space, with actually, maybe feeling sensations, hearing guidance, seeing things, experiencing knowings that help us tease out truth versus untruth in our own day-to-day experience. So when you use the heart to navigate your own experience in truth, it becomes much more straightforward to use it as that gauge for truth in a broad sense in your intuitive connection. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. What you want to do is throughout your day-to-day, whenever you're experiencing a really strong emotion, and this could be an emotion on either side of the spectrum. It could be intense joy. It could also be intense, sadness or anger. And those emotions that we tend to label more negative, it's going to be even more important to bring that heart energy to those. The emotions that we tend to label more positive, those can still feel really unsafe for a lot of us. And so it's important to bring the heart energy there too. But what we really, really, really want to bring the heart energy to is the emotions that feel uncomfortable, that feels scary, that, if we're feeling anger and that anger feels frightening and it feels unsafe and it feels like something that we want to push away from or run away from or, kind of push down and not deal with right now, circle back to it at a later time that usually never comes. When you're experiencing those really strong emotions that you feel welling up, it's creating a little bit of time and space, even just a minute or two, putting your hands over your heart chakra and picturing your heart like a portal or like a funnel and breathing that emotion through the heart space. Think of it almost like rinsing it, like rinsing that emotion through the heart space, through the portal of the heart space. Keep breathing it through, sifting it through, and telling that emotion, I love you, I love you, I love you. Showing that emotion love. When you're able to bring that emotion through the heart space and you're able to show that emotion love, you will start to be able to see what is underneath the emotion and the fear dissipates. You will be able to understand what is actually underneath fear, what feels good, what does not feel good, what feels in alignment with your truth as you run something through your heart space. When you sift through and get down to its base energy, what feels good? What doesn't feel in alignment? What does your heart resonate with? What does your heart, the natural energy of the heart chakra is to pull in love and light. So that love and that light does literally like rinse or wash that emotion. And it will be able to, you'll be able to start to feel when you do this exercise repeatedly in your day-to-day life with your emotions, you will start to be able to feel what is in alignment with that heart space and what is not in alignment with that heart space. And it's not that your heart will in any way reject it, but it will naturally transmute things that aren't in alignment with it. So as you do that and practice that in your emotional day-to-day experience, then when you go to connect in with other beings or guides or other energies, you can again put your hands over your heart space and run the energy of that being through your heart space. Does it feel in alignment with the energy of your heart? Or does it feel out of alignment with the energy of your heart? And that's also really what this exercise of running your emotion through your heart space helps you be able to do. It is sort of like bank tellers, how they don't train bank tellers to recognize counterfeit bills. Rather, bank tellers become so comfortable with actual real money that if a counterfeit bill comes through, they're able to recognize it as feeling off or feeling different. And this running the emotions through your heart space is going to help you become really, really clear over time about what feels congruent and in alignment with that heart space and what doesn't. And that's the skill that you need to be able to determine really on the most foundational level whether or not an external energy or a being is in alignment with that heart space and therefore in alignment with love and light. My experience was that after about 2 to 3 months of really consistently going through my heart space in my day-to-day emotional experience, my heart barometer, my heart gauge felt very, very calibrated, clear, and on point for me. So how long that your process is going to be specific and individual for you. And a lot of that is going to depend on your comfort with emotional energy. Some of us are going to have a very, very rapid experience, and for some of us, it might take a little bit longer. So whatever your journey and your process is like is completely perfect for you. You literally cannot get it wrong. And to help you a little more deeply with honing this heart energy and using the heart as a barometer, and with this concept and this topic, I'd also like to recommend 2 of my other videos that I have out. One of them is called Will Opening Up My Intuition Also Open Me to Icky Energies? And then the other one is a shadow work masterclass, where it really helps you go understand how to go deep into shadow, deep into emotions. If you're really struggling with or finding that you're feeling blocked with finding that safety and feeling into your emotions, or running them through the heart space, or really noticing the sensations and the feelings that are happening there in the heart space, then I highly recommend diving into some shadow work to help clear that up for you. So I'll also make sure that I link those videos below as well. The second tool that I'd like to share with you about discernment, around this discernment, is developing a relationship and a familiarity with your primary guide or a conduit guide. So all of us have multiple spirit guides. All of us have a guide team. We have some primary guides, we have some secondary guides, we have permanent guides, and we have temporary guides. Again, I cover this in a lot more detail in that workshop, which I will link below. But we all have a primary spirit guide. And for some of us, our primary spirit guide might also be a conduit guide. A conduit guide is a guide that is there to assist you and act as a go-between in connecting with other guides or other non-physical energies. So for those of us who do intuitive readings or intuitive work professionally, having a conduit guide is imperative. It's really, really important in helping to maintain clear and clean energetic boundaries between you and the other person's guides or energies that you're reading, to have those energies come through a conduit guide. A conduit guide acts as a buffer and as a holder of a space, like a filter of love and light around you, preventing any funky energies or lower vibrational energies that you might be experiencing in connecting with someone else that you're reading from actually coming to you. They're going through this guide. But you don't need to be a professional intuitive or have a specific conduit guide to experience these benefits. Your primary spirit guide, the guide that knows your life plan, that knows you and your energy, knows your soul stream energy, knows your purpose and your goals, and is here to support you and help you and assist you and cheer you on in experiencing and actualizing and realizing your light and your highest good, learning the lessons that your soul incarnated to learn. That guide, your primary guide, is absolutely able to assist you with this as well. So what's really important is to develop that relationship, that connection with your primary spirit guide. And if that primary spirit guide happens to be a conduit guide as well, that's great. That doesn't have to be the case. But through consistent communication and building that relationship with your primary spirit guide, it's sort of like partner acrobatics, practicing partner acrobatics. There's a trust that you'll develop. There's a safety. There's a familiarity that you'll develop with that guide and with the communication and energy of that guide. And you can use that guide to help you discern other energies. If you're not sure about an energy that wants to connect with you, you can ask your primary spirit guide. Remember, guides respect free will. And so you asking them to act as a filter or act as a partner in discernment, to act as that buffer for you, greatly improves and increases their ability to be able to do so. And through engaging them and inviting them to assist you in that way, already right off the bat, the likelihood of funky and lower vibrational energies passing through that buffer or that filter of the love and light that is placed around you from your primary spirit guide is already going to be dramatically reduced. So again, that workshop that I have is going to tell you exactly how to connect to your primary spirit guide and give you a meditation so that you can practice connecting to your guide and develop that familiarity. So the third point under discernment is examining or feeling into the invitation to connect. So clearly, honing that heart portal, that heart barometer is going to help immensely with this. But there's a few red flags that I wanted to point out that I think will be useful as well here around examining or feeling into that invitation to connect. So the first is not respecting free will. So obviously also with all of these, there's a bit of gray area when we're talking about connecting with non-physical energies. Guides can punch through in extreme circumstances, in life and death circumstances, in times where there's something that we're just not getting, that's just not clicking, that is really, really integral or important to our soul's evolution. Sometimes when guide energy comes in, it feels very strong and intense and overwhelming, and it might bring up fear. And so again, this is where that heart barometer comes in, into understanding whether this is fear because the energy feels new and different to you, or whether this is fear that's coming up that's telling you something is amiss or not going correctly here, is not on the up and up. So overall though, just notice, are the energies that are coming in that are wanting to connect with you, are they respecting free will? The other red flag, are they honoring energetic and personal sovereignty? A heart-centered and being of light guide or energy that's coming in to connect with you is not going to want to make you feel violated, is not going to want to make you feel wrong or bad. They're going to honor your experience and your perspective, and they're going to support you and help you to see a more open, a more broad, a more expanded perspective without making you specifically wrong. Another red flag is presenting with supremacy, with a hierarchical nature or a dogmatic perspective. So I've heard stories before of people telling me that, a certain ET or star being connected with them and told them that they were the highest dimensional being who was all-knowing and their perspectives and knowings and teachings were the only right ones. That's a huge red flag. Beings of love and light that are wanting to connect with you and help to support you understand that there are multiple perspectives, that every dimensional vibration and even dimensions within dimensions carry with them their own perspective. And no perspective is innately wrong or right. It's just a different way of viewing things. And again, the nature of guides and of non-physical energies that are really there to assist and help you and that are of a high vibration and a good idea to connect with, that are going to help you open your perspective without bringing anything harmful in with that mix, are beings that are not rooted in a perspective that their way of viewing things is the only way, is the best way, is the highest way. That overall is a big, big red flag to be aware of. Okay, and lastly here, I want to address the second aspect of this question, which is around energetic boundaries. So just like it is healthy for us to have boundaries with other humans in our life, it is also healthy for us to have boundaries with the non-physical. You incarnated into a human body to live a human experience. You're not intended or meant to be plagued with energies that are constantly chattering at you and pulling you out of your human experience. That's not why you're here. So sometimes this can happen because energies are just really, really excited to connect and are super chatty. And sometimes this can be happening because the energy is not respecting your free will or your personal sovereignty. So if you need to create energetic boundaries around connecting with non-physical energies and beings, create them. So my experience has been that I haven't really needed to set energetic boundaries with my guides. I believe that because I have taken such care in developing my skills with connecting in a place of love and light and high vibration, of honing this heart chakra and developing my discernment and engaging my conduit guides and my primary guide to really help me and assist me and support me in connecting with only the energies that are the best for my expansion and my growth. I haven't really needed to set boundaries with my guides. They pop in and out throughout the day, but they don't overwhelm my physical experience. They give me plenty of time and space to human. They step back when they know that they need to, and I ask them to come in and call them in when I really need that extra support, and they punch in when there's something that's really important, a synchronicity I really need to be aware of. So that has been my experience. However, a tool that I'd like to suggest to you, if that is not your experience or you're not quite at the place where you feel like that heart chakra is really honed and supporting you in your discernment, is you can set office hours. Remember, you are a sovereign being. You are powerful. You get to say when you do and do not want to commune and have conversation with the non-physical. So I have friends that I know who've literally set up what they call office hours, where they've told their guides, I will be available between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Whatever works for you. Your office hours might also look like, I don't want to be contacted when I'm at work or during dinner time with my family. Whatever feels appropriate and good and respectful to you is the right boundary to set in your circumstance. All right, so let's go back to the original question. Are you ever wary of beings that want to be a guide to you? I would say that I am very discerning of beings that want to be a guide to me. Any being that wants to be a guide to me, the energy gets run through my heart, and if I'm in any way on the fence or I'm unsure, I always check with my conduit guide. What I will say is that at this point, after several years of practicing this, and taking the time and space that I needed to really hone my heart at the beginning, it is very rare that I come up against any energies that offer to be a guide to me. I mean, I really can't even think of a time where I've had an energy that's asked to be a guide to me or presented as wanting to be a guide to me that did not feel in alignment with my heart space. That said, I have had energies that wanted to connect that didn't feel in alignment, that I have exercised my personal sovereignty and power and said no to those connections. And then there also have been times that there's been energies that wanted to connect that do have that energy of some density, but they're coming to me because they're looking for help or assistance from the other side. So that's a little bit of a different thing. That's probably a topic for another video, but when you're beginning and you're starting out developing these connections, I would say for most of us, it's a good idea to not play in that playground just yet. And then, or is there ever a part of you yourself that you keep reserved? So really my relationship between my guides and me, I'm an open book. I feel that that's the way that they're best able to assist me. I am fearlessly vulnerable and open with my guides, and I allow them into all aspects of my life. That said, it would not be beneficial or for my highest good for them to be intimately involved in every single day-to-day activity and having constant non-physical chatter in the background. That would not allow me to really ground and experience a human experience, to have this karmic journey and this expansion that comes from being a spirit in a human body. So in that way, I absolutely energetically put forward that I like to experience my own human personal sovereignty. And again, I haven't had to set really specific boundaries with my guides. They've always been really, really respectful of that. So I hope that that answers your question and gives you guys some really good tools to work with in developing your own discernment and setting your own energetic boundaries so you can feel really safe and secure and light and equipped to communicate with non-physical energies and your own guides. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up. You can hit the subscription button below and the bell button next to that subscription button if you'd like to be notified when I put out a new video. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Until next time, all my love. Bye.